today I will show you how to set up MCP servers with Claude using Docker containers. In this episode, we will spin up 11 different Docker containers for different purpose. One will be for the web search, where your Claude can do a web search. It can also perform a file system operation, like it can create, delete files. So without further ado, let's get started. So the very first thing that you need to install is Brew. Why we need Brew? Because we need to install Git and some other couple of packages. So these are the prerequisite that you must do. So first thing that you have to do is to go and search for terminal and open this terminal. And from here, we will copy this command. And don't be worried, I will share all of these commands in the description. So we'll copy this command and paste here using command V. What it will do is it will install the Brew package so that we can install Git. Press enter and it will download and install the Brew package. So now the Brew is installed. The next thing that we need to install is a Git. So we will do Brew install Git. So it will install the Git so that we can clone the repository. Now the Git is installed. Let's go back and copy this command from here. So we are going to clone this repository. I will also share the link to this GitHub repository. So just do the same thing with git clone. So the very first thing that you need to do is git clone, and then you have to paste this repository link. So what it will do is it will clone that server repository. So once you are done with this, what you have to do is you need to install Docker Desktop. So you will go to docker.com, and from here you will scroll down and install Docker Desktop depending on your system. So I have a Mac Intel chip, so I already installed that Docker Desktop. So I will run this. So this is a must-have. First you have to install it, and then once the installation is done, you have to run these Docker containers, because we need to build those MCP servers, right? So let's go back to the terminal, and here we will change our directory to servers. You will press enter. Now we are inside the servers directory. Here we will do ls-lh, and from here we will run this script. So to run this script, you will type in bash build and you will hit tab to autocomplete. Otherwise you can also write it, but pressing the tab will autocomplete this. So it will build all the MCP server as the Docker images. Now allow this so that it can build those MCP server images. So in total it will build 11 Docker images, and once we are done with this building process, we will configure Claude configurations. So let's wait. So now the building process is completed. So we can also verify this by using Docker images, and you can see all of those images are built. So the next step is inside the same server directory here, you have to copy one file. If you see here, we have a cloud-desktop-config.json.example file. So we will copy this file in the library and application. Just hit tab to autocomplete. So it should be application support. Then we have a Claude, and then we give this file name Docker desktop-config.json. Or simple way, what you can do is just erase everything and just select this. Do not select the whole line, just copy here and paste here. So what we are doing is we are copying inside the server directory the file Claude-desktop-config.json.example to library application support Claude and hit enter. So now we have copied this file, so we will change our directory to this folder, library application support, and then Claude, just hit tab to autocomplete. So now inside this you will find out that we have this Claude underscore desktop-config.json. Now you have to edit this file using the nano. Just press the tab to autocomplete, and in that way this file will be open in the editor. So you need to make few changes. For example, if you want to use a Google Map MCP server, you have to provide an Google Map API key here, and also for the file system you have to mount the volume. So if you see, in my case my user is Zahir Ahmed, so you have to change this username according to your username. So how you will find out your username, let me show you. So this is the username, basically this is the username. So in that way you will find out your username. So just replace that username with your username, and this is done. Now we will go to Brave Search MCP server configuration, and we will provide the Brave API key. So in order to configure this, you will go to api-dashboard.brave.com and you will log in. So I already logged in, and you will click on API keys, and from here you will add a new API key, and let's say test, and click on add. Now you have to copy this and replace this with your API key. So now you will save this file by pressing Ctrl X, and then you will hit Y and then enter. In that way your Claude configuration file is set up and it's ready to go. Now we will open up Claude, and keep in mind that Docker should be running, otherwise you will get errors. So now you can see we have configured the Claude, and we are using 59 MCP tools. And if I can show you the Docker desktop, you can see all of these Docker containers are running. So previously you have seen that we have only built the Docker images, but we haven't ran any containers, and these containers will be automatically ran by the Claude. So now you can see all of those MCP tools. So in that way, if you will not see these, it's mean there is something wrong in your configuration. And one more step that I forgot is, when you will type in cd, you will be in your home directory, and inside your home directory you have to create one folder, make directory bot-env. So I already have that folder. And why we need this folder? Because when this Claude will write files, it need permissions to write those files inside your directory. So now let's test it, and I will say go to google.com and search for MCP server topic. Now we are testing if the search is working. So now you can see it's using Puppeteer as the MCP server. So we already have this inside our here. You can see that we have this, so it's being used by this. So it asking for the permission. So in that way you can configure your Claude to use the Docker containers as your MCP server, and we can see it's working fine. So I will stop this here, and let's ask is to create the empty file. Create an empty file in your project directory using MCP tools. So it will create the empty file in the project directory file system. So now it's using file system MCP server. So we will allow this, and this is where, let me allow this again. So it's creating empty file. So now you can see this is the empty file that is being created by this particular Claude. So that is why we need that bot-env, because this bot-env is mounted inside the Docker. Let me show you. If we go inside the file system, let me go back, and from here I will select terminal, and in the files, if you go here in the project, this is the bot-env file which is mounted. You can see this is being mounted and it's created the empty file 37 seconds ago. So that is why we need to mount this file. So that is why you have to create this inside your home directory. So this is the home directory. So if you want to find out your home directory in that way, you can find out your home directory, echo $home, and it will give you the home directory. So remember again, the configuration file lives inside the library application support folder and inside the Claude. So here I will cat the cloud-desktop-config.json file, and here is the home path, and this is the bot-env folder that I showed you previously. Rest of the thing you don't need to change anything. In the same way, for the Brave search, you have to provide the Brave search API key, and I showed you how you can get this key and configure it. The rest is you don't need to change anything else, and everything is just set up. Just use it, and that's it. Just subscribe to this channel. See you again.